Okay, good morning to you. I hope you had a good break of 2 days. So now, if you remember that income tax we more or less covered. So still we are done only 60% of our total syllabus. So the next 40% we have to cover very fast, especially GST provision. So it is comparatively not as complicated because of recent law. Yet you need to understand the law very well so that you can do the problem well. So coming to that structure, so we will be covering today supply, which is the most basic thing, and levy and collection, and do a little bit of problems. As we do the chapters itself, there will be quite a few of examples that we need to go through so that we give you an understanding. So the existing structure was like this: that the states were levying certain taxes, and the center was levying certain taxes, and as a result, it was dubbed, you know, multiple agencies were attacking the poor businessman, and he had to give returns here, he has to give returns here. It was all messed up. And the question of tax on tax was also coming in. So what, I'm not going into detail of that. These notes will be shared with you, but I'm saying that this whole thing was, the way it started was way back in 2004 when GST was first mooted by the Kelkar Committee, which recommended a fully integrated GST on national basis. Then, of course, it went on and on and on. Finally, in 2017, it got the saw the day of light of the day, and it was introduced in Lok Sabha on 27th of March and was passed in Lok Sabha on 29th of March. The presidential assent was received on 12th of April, but with effect from 1st of July. This was followed by state laws, various laws, etc. All of them passed, were among the first to pass. The most important thing that you need to understand is when the states, the earlier scheme was there, service was part of the central government's purview as per the constitution, and the goods were with the state government. So that is what one of the problems that was happening. So the input of one could not be used for the input of one could not be used to settle the output of goods. So that created a double taxation sort of situation. Today, GST is across manufacture, sale, consumption, goods, service, etc. It offers comprehensive continuous chain of tax credits from the producer's point and service point, thereby adding value at each stage. And so on and on. There are so many things we need to understand. Even this, I'm ignoring deficiency of VAT system. What was it? We have already discussed. You can read it later. Earlier, it was administered by the central government for services and various state governments for it. So that means a business person, if he had to go for uh, business in multiple states, he had to handle multiple type of laws. That was very, very difficult. Now, what India has done the dual GST model, which is imposed concurrently by the states and state. Moreover, GST extends to the whole of India, including state of Jammu and Kashmir. GST is destination-based tax payable to all transactions, including supply of goods and services. It is not only goods that we are talking about, it is supply also. Therefore, earlier what was VAT was for the goods, but it was done by all the state government. And services, which is coming under service tax, it was by the central government. Now what has happened is all bucketed into, it's called GST, goods and service tax. Now, all these we'll come to that. Let us not get into that. There is a single CGST and all that. I'm not getting into that because all these are there when we understand it better rather than reading it. You can read it later. GST portal. Now, this is very important. This is the main, pivot in which the whole thing is working. Are you able to see the screen? Yeah. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. In order to achieve seamless, flow of credit between center and state, there is a requirement for an online portal, which could act as a clearinghouse and to verify the claims and inform the respective governments to transfer the funds. Now, all this happens at the back. Therefore, the common GST portal was developed by Infosys, which is managed by GSTN. is an incorporated company under the provisions of Section 8 of the Companies Act. GSTN provides an interface for taxpayer and the common and shared infrastructure between states and central. The function of GSTN is to facilitate registration, forwarding the returns to the central and state governments, computation of settlement by GST, matching the tax payments or details, etc. All the things are done in the system. So the entire any and everything we need to do in GST, we have to first log into the GST portal. I'll show you the portal also a little later, not now. Now, what are the components of GST? Most of you know now, but yet I'm saying CGST, SGST, IGST. CGST stands for Central Government Central GST. This is applicable on supplies within state, tax collected shared to the center. SGST stands for State GST. This is applicable on supplies within the state. So both are, so when something is happening within a state, it is called, both will be levied. This will be levied, this will also be levied. IGST is integrated GST. This is applicable for interstate and import transactions. It is collected between center and states. Let's not get into too much detail because I can keep on going on this, but it's better to do problem. Then there is UTGST, which I have not explained. It's similar to this only. There is another one called, for union territories, it is called UTGST. So instead of SGST, it is UTGST. So rather than confusing you, just to keep it simple. Now, so many taxes have got subsumed in the GST. Excise, service tax, AD, surcharge, etc. has been clubbed under CGST. So these are the earlier laws. Similarly, SGST, you had state governments doing VAT, purchase tax, surcharge and sales, entry tax, luxury, all coming under SGST. Similarly, IGST is your CST, CVD, countervailing duty and special some duty was there, which is all got wrapped up in IGST. So it's much easier to handle. Now, this is what I shared with you some time back. I hope you have done it. So what are the sections that we are going to look at is very carefully you need to understand. As I told you, up to returns, you are supposed to learn. I think up to this, I told you to remember the sections. I hope you remember. So preliminary is basically definitions and all that. 366 administration, nothing much. Here is where we need to now today spend, we are going to spend on this. Levy and collection, including supply. Including supply. Tomorrow, if we were able to finish, we'll be doing exemptions, which is a little, that is what is not coming under this. We look at what is coming under this. This is exempted under section 11. Those ones we'll be looking at tomorrow because that's a long list and you have to be very, very clear about it. In the exam, they ask quite a lot on that. Then comes time of supply and value of supply. We'll be looking at that. And then the heart of the entire gamma, this thing of GST is the input tax credit. Again, we'll spend on that quite a lot of time. So these three, if you spend, I think most of the things will be over. These are all not much, but again, little bit I'll cover with the site itself. I'll cover registration, tax invoice and credit notes, account records, not much, returns, little bit, payment of tax. These will not take time. But the most important thing that we need to cover is all this. So up to this, if we cover, you'll get a good picture and you should be able to do the problems. Okay. But mind you, 40 marks is this. So better please go along with the class. This time is also not there. If you don't do it now, you will be in trouble. So again, I'm coming back to this. 1 to 2 is preliminary. Please remember the sections up to this at least. 3 to 6 is admin. Levy and tax collection of tax is 7 to 11. Time and value of supply 12 to 15. Input tax credit 16 to 21. Registration 22 to 30. Tax invoice 31 to 34. Account records 35 to 36. Returns 37 to 47. Payment of tax 49 to 53. And apart from that, there are 3 schedules, which also we'll have to cover today. Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. What is Schedule 1? Activities to be treated as supply, even if made without consideration. Even if without consideration, this will be supply. Normally, supply means there should be consideration. But there are certain items or activities which are treated as supply, even though it is without consideration. What are those we need to look at? Then Schedule 2 is basically clarification as to whether it is supply of goods or service, because there is always a confusion whether it's goods or service. So that is where the clarification has been given. In these items are goods or service. They have given clarity. Earlier, that was a huge amount of contention because states wanted it as goods and central government wanted it as service because then they can tax it. So both used to fight on a particular item itself, that one will call it goods, another one will call it. Now they have clarified it so that there is no confusion. The third one is basically activities or transactions shall be neither treated as supply or of goods or supply of service. So not a supply at all. It is no supply. Like no supply. Okay. Now there are certain definitions that I've listed. Now, again, these are things that from the material you can check, as well as when we get to that particular item, we will look at it. So what are the sections? 6 to 6, the way it is. This is, please don't read section 6. Huh? It is not section 6. It is 2 subsection 6. So always there is a 2 here. So always there is a 2 here, 217, 219, and so on. Okay, I've just written section 2, subsection all this. What is it? 6 is aggregate turnover, very important. Business, capital goods, composite supply, consideration, continuous supply of goods, continuous service, exempt supply, goods, India, input, input service. Please remember, please read these because I will be doing only as and when it comes in the theory or something, in a problem or something. If it comes, then we will look at it. But you can start reading from your material. Material is the best today. GST material, CA Institute material is the best. So even Aparna, you can download it and read it from there. It's a very good material. Some of them I'll be referring from there itself directly. Input tax, location of supplier of service, mixed supply, money, non-resident, non-taxable, territory, person, place of business, reverse charge. Wherever you are not clear of something, look whether there is a definition for it. That's how you have to look at it. And the best thing is to have a BER Act. Place of business. I'll be sharing the BER Act also. If you want, I can share it. Reverse charge, that is up to date up to 39. So you have to be careful if there is any amendment post your April, you have to be careful. Services, supplier, taxable person, taxable supply, taxable territory, turnover. This is not the only section, mind you, there are gaps. I've only picked up what is the most important, which is relevant for you immediately. But all definitions are important. Okay. So that completes the first sheet. Now let us go to, so here I'm now going into the levy and collection. First is section 7, scope of supply. We'll look at scope of supply, but before that, as I told you, some definition, if it comes, we'll look at it. So first is goods, 252. Goods means every kind of movable property other than, because all this, when you do problem, you'll understand, other than money and securities, but includes actionable claims, growing crops, grass, things attached to or forming part of the land, which are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of supply. So each one will be tested when you do these things, mind you. Be careful. Each one will be tested in your exam. So you have to be very clear. Only by doing problems you will understand. So growing crops, grass and things, but includes, mind you, but includes growing crops, grass, things, because they say movable. So when it is attached to the ground, it is not movable, right? But they are saying, no, this will be included. For example, money, actionable claims, money is not there, but actionable claims is included. So it is in terms of money. So what they have done is they said other, But still they have clarified, no, no, this will include these items, things attached to or forming part of the land, which are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract. So when we look at example, it will all be clear. Therefore, what is service? 202 means anything other than goods. See, this is a dangerous definition. Money and securities. Anything other than this will come under service. So you cannot escape, but includes activities relating to use of money or its conversion by cash or any other mode from one form of currency or denomination to another form, currency or denomination for which a separate consideration is charged. So this is clearly we are talking about when you go to the exchange companies and you give dollars, or rather give rupees, and ask them to give you US dollars. So they charge an extra amount for their services. Apart from the value, they'll charge. That service is what they're talking about. Okay. Now, what are the components of supply? These are the components of supply. Just see. Number one, supply. These are all definition only, but I'm just put it so that you can easily understand it. Supply with consideration and in the course of furtherance of business. So both, number one situation is it should be supply. It will be supply only and only with consideration. Sir, but we saw something else. That is where there is no consideration, yet there is supply. So actually, first when they define, they are saying supply without consideration, with anything without consideration is no supply, because it's not falling under this. But they have gone to schedule 1 and said these are no consideration yet supply. So they've brought out certain things which are still supply, though it is not falling under this, it will come as a supply through schedule 1, which is what we saw. So if it wants to be a supply, there should be consideration, and there should be furtherance of business. This is very important. So furtherance of business. What are those examples? When you do, you'll understand. Next one is import of service for a consideration, whether in the course of furtherance of business or not. It's hidden there, it's not seen. So normal supply with consideration and in the course of furtherance of business. Whereas import of service, it should be with consideration. So both are with consideration, but the only difference is in this case, it is for furtherance of business. Import of service, no need for furtherance of business. So what are those differences? When we look at examples, we'll understand. Apart from that, as I told you, schedule 1, what is it without consideration? As I was telling, what is not caught here, some are still, so you cannot say without consideration, everything is gone, no supply. No, there are some things which are coming under schedule 1, which is supply even without consideration. Then as we told you, activities treated as supply of goods or service, activities which are supplies treated as supply of goods, same thing is coming. Actually, I think there is a mistake here. Yeah, so the same thing. Actually, it is not required. There is one which is there, schedule 3, which are not at all supply, which is what to be corrected here. That I'll correct it and put it in the final one. Now let us go into detail. What is supply? Supply includes 7.1. I'm going into the section only. 7.1. All forms of supply of goods or service or both, such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposal, made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the furtherance of business. That is the first part which you saw just now. First ball, basically. That is this one. This one is what is being defined here. Now let us look at what are the sale, etc. Each one we'll look at it. Sale. Any sale of goods or service which broadly results in transfer of title transfer of title in the case of goods, and transfer of right in the use of in the case of services. So both will have to happen. One is transfer of title in the case of goods. In the case of service, transfer of right to use in case of services. Transfer, this is sale. Any transfer between branches form part of supply and are taxable. However, GST is paid on branch transfer are fully available as input tax. We'll come to this on little later. Barter exchange, when consideration is paid through goods instead of money. For example, a seller has supplied goods and the buyer supplies goods to the extent of the payment, or when one product is exchanged with another. So barter system. Still there is supply. Any grant of license to use forms part of supply. For example, online subscription, there is a supply. Renting of property fully or partially is a supply. Letting out a building or a property on lease is also supply. Disposal of business assets form part of supply. All these are part of supply. Second is a second balloon, which we just now look at. This one. This one. Import of service for a consideration, whether or not in the course of business. For example, Ranjit Apparels in Hyderabad, Telangana avails the fashion designing services of INR 40,000 from Kumari Designs in London, UK. Where is the location of supplier? UK. Location of recipient? Hyderabad. Place of supply with the location, that is Hyderabad, that is in Telangana. Hence, this import is supply. Is a supply because it's for the business, fashion designing services. It's a apparel business. They are taking for the purpose. But look at another example. If an architect located outside India provides services to an individual for construction of his residential house, so it is not for furtherance of business. Here there is furtherance of business. Here there is furtherance of business. Whereas here there is no furtherance of business, yet it is supply, even though it is not in the course of furtherance of business. That is the most important thing that you understand. That means import of service, there is no need for furtherance of business. This is furtherance of business there. Here there is no furtherance of, yet it is supply. Is it clear? Now, let us go to the third thing. Schedule supply without consideration. That is what they are saying here. Next definition. Made or agreed without consideration. Then next balloon is schedule 2. This is what is schedule 1. And last one is schedule 3. This is schedule 3. Notwithstanding anything contained in 1, activities or transactions specified or such activities shall neither be treated as supply of goods nor supply of service. That is what actually I have mixed up the balloon. The last one should be this schedule 3. Okay. Now, subject to provisions of 1 and 2, what we have discussed, government may, on recommendation of council, specify notification the transaction that they are treated to be treated as supply of goods and not supply of service, or supply of service, not supply. So they have, this is a general thing that they can clear up. If there is any confusion, they can clear up these things. They can say the council is the body that decides. It is a representative of both the central government. Every 2 months or 3 months, they have a meeting mandatorily. This is a GST council. What are the council? It is chaired by the finance minister of the country, and all the finance ministers of the state are supposed to attend this meeting. All the finance ministers, and they take a collective decision. That is what there is lot of debate on this. So better be aware of these things. It's called cooperative federalism. Now one by one, we look at what is coming under schedule 1 and so on. So under schedule 1, first one is, what is schedule 1? Without consideration. It is a supply. First it said supply means it is with consideration. Now they're saying no, these ones are still supply even though there is no consideration. Permanent transfer of business assets on which input tax credit has been made. In the event of sale or transfer of business assets, that is capital goods on which input tax credit was availed, the transaction shall be treated as supply even when they are cleared or transferred without consideration and business is liable for GST. For example, Supercars Limited purchased 15 computers worth 3 lakhs, paid a GST of 54,000. Supercars availed input of 54,000. So Supercars purchased 15 computers for 3 lakh, paid GST of 50,000 and they availed the 54,000. These computers are used for maintaining records and accounts of the business. After years of usage, Supercar decided to give these computers away to employees without any cost. Though the computers are disposed of without consideration, Supercars is liable to GST. Why? Because they have taken input tax credit, that 54,000 they have availed. That is why permanent transfer disposal of business asset on which input tax credit has been availed will be taxed later on if you dispose it without any consideration. Next, these are still without consideration we are talking of. Supply of goods. We are still in this bracket, mind you. We are still talking, all these items are coming under this schedule 1. Okay. Schedule 1 we are discussing now. Not one item in schedule 1, multiple items are there. Supply of goods or service or both between related parties or distinct persons which made in the course of furtherance of business. Finished goods are transferred from manufacturing unit to a depot from where goods are to be sold. For example, Rose Polymers, a registered manufacturer in Delhi, transferred finished goods to their depot located in Noida, UP. So this is Delhi, this is UP, two different states. At the time of transfer, the open market value of the finished goods is 20,000. Also, the depot supplied goods of like kind and quality of 22,000. Meaning of related parties is not covered now, but will be covered later. So in this case, it is a taxable supply by Rose Polymers to its depot located in Noida. Okay. Supply between, and they have to pay the tax. But Noida people can take the input. Noida people can take the input. Supply of goods between principal and his agent. Supply of goods under this following scenario is considered taxable even without consideration. Supply by the principal to his agent. When the agent undertakes to supply goods on behalf of the principal, and supply by the agent to, one second, supply by the agent to the principal when the agent undertakes to receive such goods on behalf of the principal. Both these situations, it will be coming under, though there is no consideration at that time, still it will be considered as, supply. For example, Supercars appoints Sharma as an agent. Sharma Agencies as an agent. They will store spare parts supplied by Supercars. Who is Supercar? Sharma. Their goods they are giving it to their agent. With and as and when an order is received by Supercars Limited from its dealers, the instruction will be sent to Sharma Agency to supply the consignment. So as and when there is a requirement by X, which is received by Sharma, Sharma will intimate them and to Supercars. They will inform Sharma and Sharma will give the goods to them. Also, Sharma Agency is entrusted to receive the supply of raw material from manufacturers on behalf of Supercar. So maybe they are not giving it. Their supplier, whoever is there, it can be received directly by Sharma on behalf of Supercars. Here, Super Limited as a principal and Sharma is the agent. Supply of spare parts of Supercars to Sharma Agency is a taxable service. The receipt of raw material by Sharma Agencies on behalf of Supercars and the subsequent supply of Sharma Agencies to Supercar is a taxable supply. The liability is on the above and will be either be jointly by Supercars and Sharma agencies, or individually owned by either of them. So how the taxability is happening, we don't have to now look at it, but we have to understand that it is a supply. Earlier, it was not coming under the definition of supply, mind you. Now it is supply, because ultimately there is no transaction between them, right? It is only that he's doing the job for which he's getting commission. Who? Sharma agencies. But now it is not like that. Next, import of services by a person from a related person or from any other establishment outside India in the course of furtherance of business. This implies that services imported without consideration from related persons situated outside India will be subject to levy of GST only in the course of or furtherance of business. So only if there is furtherance that will come. For example, interior design service received by a branch from its head office located in Singapore. The interior service is taxable and liable to GST on reverse charge. That what is reverse charge will come to that, but is taxable. Hence, service imported without consideration from unrelated persons for furtherance of business and import of service without consideration for personal use is not supplied and subsequently not. Therefore, there should be two conditions. One is related person and furtherance of business and furtherance of business. Both should be satisfied. Then only it will come. Okay. Otherwise, it will not come. Both have to be satisfied. If one of them is missing, it will not get attracted. If one of them is missing, it will not get attracted. Okay. Now look at Schedule 2. Different activities under Schedule 2. Any transfer of title of goods. For example, furniture house sold furniture to Mr. Ganesh. This will be treated as supply of goods because on the sale of title of furniture is transferred to Mr. Ganesh. Any transfer without transfer of title, services. Furniture house supplied furniture to Mr. Rakesh on a rental basis for a period of 3 months. Rental. That also is a supply of service. This amounts to supply of service because furniture is transferred for Mr. Rakesh's use and the title of the furniture is still with furniture. So it's a service. What is a use only is being given. Any transfer of title of goods under an agreement which stipulates that the property in the goods will pass at a future date upon payment of full consideration. For it's a goods again. Furniture house supplied furniture to Mr. Ramesh in an agreement to receive the payments in 6 installments. This amounts to supply of goods because the title of the furniture will pass to Mr. Ramesh on completing payments of 6 installments. Typically, all hire purchase will qualify under this particular. So here they are giving clarification section. This is giving more clarification to the entire subject of whether it's goods or service. Schedule 2, we are talking of Schedule 2. Any lease, easement, tenancy and license to occupy land. Services. Mr. Suresh lets out a land on lease to furniture house. The letting out a land on lease is considered supply of service. Any lease or letting out of building, including commercial, industrial, or residential complex for business or commerce, either wholly or partly, service. Commercial complex or residential commerce for business. They're very important. It should either it's a commercial complex or if it's a residential commerce for business, then it will get attracted. Mr. Suresh lets out a building to furniture house. Furniture house used to a building for display and sale of furniture. This is a supply of service. Job work, any treatment of process which is being applied to another person's good service. Furniture house also undertakes repair works and polishing of furniture of their customer. The repair and polishing activity will be treated as Supply of service. Business assets put to private use or non-business use, whether for consideration or not for consideration. Service, it's a service. Car used for business is put to use, private use. This is supply of service. This is supply of service. Renting of movable property, service. Renting of shop is considered as supply of service. Similarly, development, design, program, customization, adaptation, upgradation, enhancement of implementation of information technology software. It's also service. For example, Max Technologies Limited developed a payroll software for Furniture's House. The development of software is a supply of service. Works contract includes including transfer of property and goods, whether or as goods or in some other form, involved in execution of a works contract or movable property. Murli Constructions Limited constructed a commercial complex involving material labor. This is supply. So, works contract, earlier there was always a debate between it whether it's goods or service. State government used to take it as goods, and there was always a legal problem there. Now they have clearly said it is service. So there's no confusion. And the last one is schedules that are treated as Schedule 3, transaction not treated as supply, service by an employee in the course of or in relation to his employment, any court or tribunal established under any law. These are not service. These are not supply. These are not at all supply. Okay. Functions of MP, MLA, service of funeral, burial, crematorium, mortuary, including transportation of deceased, sale of land, subject to clause 5B of Schedule 2, sale of building, all these will not come under this. Actionable claims other than lottery, betting, gambling. Supply of goods from a place in a non-taxable territory to another place of in a non-taxable territory without such goods entering into India. I will explain this a little later. Similarly, 7 and 8 needs a little bit of explanation. Okay. And the last one is supply of warehouse goods to any person before clearance of home consumption, supply of goods by the consignee to any other person by endorsement of documents to the goods after goods have been dispatched from the port of origin located outside India but before clearance of home consumption. This is called high sea sales. So all these are covered under Schedule 3. So please read it in between. All this what I have discussed, I will just mail it to you. You can have a look at it, and we will discuss the problems of once we come back. Okay. Or I'll send you the problems. You can go through the problems. I'll just put the problems now. You can look at the problems.